Well, it is Sunday afternoon and I am just getting ready to head back up the scaffolding and finish up the last pieces up there on the peak. Some of them have a coat of paint, some of them still need to be primed, and then they all will need a second coat of paint. So I'm hoping to get that all in this afternoon. So we'll see how it goes, but I am just really pleased with how it's looking. I drove by this morning on my way to church and I don't normally talk to my house, but as I was driving by, I'm like, you look really pretty. You're looking really good. So I don't know what came over me, but the house looks very good. So definitely still a ways to go, but it's really fun to see it coming together. So I'm gonna keep working, and the weather is beautiful today. Obviously you can hear and see it's kind of windy, but other than that, it's beautiful. So definitely that late fall kind of day that you just love being outside. So yeah, it's a good excuse to be out here having some work to do. So all right, I'm gonna get to it. So the weather does not look good. It looks like it could rain at any minute, but I have checked the forecast and we're supposed to be clear until about 10 o'clock. It's between 5:30 and 6 right now, so my paint should have time to dry. It looks amazing, if I do say so myself. And yeah, I'm glad to get on this last coat. And then all that I have left to do up here on another day will be to do some caulking. So that really elevates the whole look of it. So I'm really excited to get that done. I'll show you what that looks like. Well, it's Tuesday afternoon and I have been watching the weather all morning, waiting for it to get up to 40 degrees so I could get up there and caulk, and it's finally there. So I'm happy that it's finally warm-ish enough to do that. And hoping that I can accomplish what I want to before I have to go to work this evening. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, but glad to be here and working on it. It's cold out there. It says 41, but it feels pretty chilly. Maybe it's just because we've been having so much nice weather, but I went through one tube of caulk and now I'm warming up with my heater on, and I'm really thankful that I stopped and got coffee before I left town, so that is warming my hands well. You know, technically probably when you caulk you should be able to put in a nice enough bead that you don't need to smooth it out, but I find that I pretty much always feel the need to smooth it after I put it up. So so my fingers were getting quite cold. But it's looking good, and after I warm up a few minutes here, I'm hoping to get back up there and get the rest of it finished. So yeah, it's over 40, so even though I'm up there thinking, is it really warm enough to be doing this? But hopefully my guess is that it just takes longer to cure if it gets cold. So it's supposed to still be in the 40s for another hour or two. So I don't know. It doesn't say anything on the tube about it can't drop below a certain temperature within a certain amount of time or anything like that. So I'm hoping that it's good. But yeah, we'll just keep plugging along. wasn't supposed to be raining today, but it is. So I have been sitting here at the house waiting, looking at the weather, and it was supposed to stop. So it's not stopping, and so I am gonna head home. So it's kind of a bummer to get rained out, but the next 4 or 5 days look like they're supposed to be good. So just praying that works out that way and can get over here and keep moving on the project. So yeah, you never know what happens. So you might recall that last week I mentioned these boards that need to be replaced, but that I was going ahead and painting them anyway so that it kind of looked more cohesive. The other piece of that is that I didn't waste time and money on putting wood filler in them because they're going to be replaced. But if you recall, the whole reason that I'm doing this painting project now, if you've been watching for a while, you might remember that to be able to work on the electrical inside the house, that it needs to be airtight, watertight, not airtight, watertight. So these major cracks in these boards are where you see gaps on the other side, where you can see the daylight shining through, like along here. So because I'm replacing these boards, I'm just going to caulk them. On other boards that didn't have as much damage, that's where we were using the wood filler. So yeah, that's what I'm working on today, just trying to get this side of the house wrapped up. You know, the painting is all done, but to get this piece of it finished, then I can completely move on to the front of the house. So I thought I would show you too what it looks like filling the gaps on the inside. As you can see, the caulk blocking out the daylight, which is, you know, a good sign that water can get through if you can see through your walls. So yeah, we're getting there. It's a slow process sometimes, but a lot of steps, I guess, basically. And again, I don't know what people that do construction professionally or painting professionally would think of my methodology here, but I know that it will accomplish the task of making the inside watertight. So that's what I'm going for at this point. Maybe there's a better method. And again, like if I had started working on this back in August rather than like 2.5 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now maybe, I would have gone ahead and just replaced these boards this summer and then painted. But with the time that I had, I didn't feel like that was the best use of my time. So not a tidy caulker. So when I have my what do you call it? When I have the videos that are sped up, time lapse. When I have the time lapse videos, you can't see how messy I am, but in this video you can see how much of a mess I'm making. But I'm gonna keep working on this. I'll show you kind of, like I said, what it looks like as it's filled from the inside, and hopefully by the end of today, this side of the house will be completely finished. The goal is to get the scaffolding at least down, at least the top level down, and maybe the whole thing down and moved to the front. So those are the goals. We'll see if they can get accomplished. I hope so, because then I'll be set for getting started tomorrow. So, all right, I'm gonna keep working. it is, one side completely finished, fully accomplished. It's amazing. And I was talking to my brother earlier, and we both agreed that even though the pictures definitely show the improvement in person, it just feels a little bit more impressive. So today went really well. I'm really excited about all that got accomplished and where I'm at for going into tomorrow. I was able to finish caulking the end of the house and get the scaffold moved, not by myself. I had some help. My dad helped with the top layer, and then my brother helped with the rest of it. So yeah, and then I was able to get primed most of the wall behind me, where the scaffolding is. So shouldn't take long in the morning to finish priming it. I think I mentioned it before, but it's really nice. There's not a lot of boards that need repair up there, so it's just scraping, priming, and then painting. So that will really speed things up. So one thing that I've been loving about the Zinsser product, the Peel Stop Triple Thick, is that, you know, as you're scraping paint off of an old house, unless you sandblast it or pressure wash it, it's almost impossible to get all the chipping paint off. Obviously that's what you're working towards, but it doesn't, it's hard to do that 100%. And what I love about this product is that it really seems to be doing what it says it will do, which is, you know, keeping your paint from peeling. Now, obviously it's just been painted. You know, I don't know how it will hold up after some time. But at this point, I've been really happy with it. So let me just show you what some boards look like, the amount of prep that I do to them, how much paint I get off, and how much is still there and how chippy it is. So let me show you that. Okay, so here's about how I get the walls, the amount of prep that I do. You can see that there's definitely still some chippy paint, and maybe some more of it would come, but it starts to not come off so easily. There's some sections here where you can see some loose, they look loose, but you know, working at them and not much more is coming. So this is kind of about how I'll leave it. I have some work still to do on the boards, putting in some wood filler, but as far as getting paint off, that's about as good as it's probably gonna get. And then down here's kind of the finished product. You can see how well it has covered, and the paint seems to not have a rough texture too bad.